them being so dedicated towards quality, they're still finding this such a drawback. So what might be the reason?
A little bit of sound quality has always been an issue, maybe with Nollywood. They will adjust.
Hey guys, this is Benny.
And this is Dhruv. And today we are going to react to the trailer of the Nollywood movie called 10 Days in Sun City. Also, before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button if you actually liked our content or are going to like our content. All right.
Yeah.
10 Days in Sun City is one of the suggestions of one of our subscribers. So we really appreciate it and thank you for that. So if I read the IMDb of 10 Days in Sun City, it says a globe-trotting traveler, Ekpos, brings his girlfriend to the land of South Africa in this adventure. I guess that's a good summary. The director is Adze Ugah. Okay. So let's check this out.
This summer comes another hilarious, romantic, action-packed comedy blockbuster.
Listen to yourself now, bros. Agbani Derego. Mini say Agbani don't ring go.
The winner is Miss Delta!
From the Guinness World Record producers of 30 Days in Atlanta and a trip to Jamaica.
Anywhere I enter like this, Yawa the Kawa. They're not rich. Worry. Their father.
Corporate World Entertainment presents 10 Days in Sun City.
Baby girl, you bad. Girl, the way you whine. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you want. If I.
I'm just one phone call away.
I'm riding your girl right now, all up and down the hill like a horny zebra. Just riding your girl.
What do you think you're getting yourself into?
Stay the hell out of my business.
You think we are here for gymnastics?
I did not speak for my eye. You speak in eye drop, not speak for my eye.
Bianca!
Get in, let's go!
Bianca!
You say what? You're fired!
Hi! Man, we gotta go.
10 Days in Sun City, starring AY, Adesua Etomi, Richard Mofe-Damijo, Miguel Nunez Jr., Tu Baba, Falls, Mercy Johnson, Thenjiwe Mosley, Amanda DuPont, Ali Baba, Celeste and Thule. 10 Days in Sun City, showing in cinemas nationwide from June 23rd.
The first thought I had is like there were so many bottle crackings,
Yes.
smashing on the head.
There were so many bottles that they mentioned bottles rather than the guns. There were many guns too, but they mentioned bottles.
But also at the same time, South Africa, like
Ooh.
so beautiful, right? Like people mostly talk about poverty and the crime and this and that about South Africa. You don't see these things so much in the media, and it's this is really cool to see. They also showed a beauty pageant, so that I remember how many of the Miss World, Miss Universe, much of that happened in South Africa.
Along with safaris, I think it's also synonymous with the beauty pageants. I mean, that's what comes to mind, and that's the first scene that they show, beauty pageant. I'm like, yes, this belongs here.
Ekpos's girlfriend is a beauty queen and she's competing, and then so he goes with her to South Africa. It said in IMDb that he takes her. So is it that she's very
sponsored?
Yeah, or maybe he's like, you're very beautiful, you should try this out, let's go to South Africa. I don't know. I mean, you don't straight away go to South Africa. You have to first win the regional stuff and the national stuff, then you make it there. So I don't know if she's already a beauty queen. I would presume she is, otherwise, and if I don't know if they're competing for Miss World or Miss Universe, which is mostly the competitions that happen there. But he takes her there, long story short, and they're having fun. It's really beautiful. And maybe she gets into trouble. One of the ladies was telling her, why are you doing this? Or something like, what do you think you're doing? Or something like that along those lines. So I don't know, maybe she did something. And then that led to a domino effect of confusions and backstabbing and people being involved and bottles.
I feel that I'm not sure whether she was participating in a beauty pageant or not. I mean, they showed a beauty pageant now, whether they were just over there to watch it or what, I don't know.
No, because they announced her name. They said you have won,
right.
And she's like,
right. So I think maybe she had never planned on winning it. She had just planned on participating. And for that, she was accompanying this guy who had taken her over there. And she was actually probably just using him and the beauty pageant for money laundering or something, because there was a bag full of money, passport. She was maybe trying to get out of the country or some. The intent of hers to get into this pageant must have been that she wanted to do this illegal activity. And by chance she won, and it's like, now what? I didn't plan on that, right? It's like that Shah Rukh Khan movie where they get into a dance competition and they actually win it.
Happy New Year, something like that, right?
Yes. So and then of course the domino effect, and who's hitting whom and who's going after whom, and of course when it's illegal money, things get messy. The first mess up was that she won, is what I feel. And then she tried to get things done, because now she wasn't supposed to win and she was supposed to just get away safe, clean out of it with the bag of money. And now she couldn't do that because she had to probably go further ahead with the duties of her being a beauty queen. And now what to do with the money bag? So she had to hand it over to probably someone else. And then people got to know about it. And then everybody's trying to, it's up for grabs. And then so everybody's,
No, what you said does make sense, because when they showed her winning, it wasn't like, it was like, what?
the hell?
I'm buying what you're saying. There could be any number of things, but I wonder if she's a negative character or she's just a character in distress. My feeling based on how she was acting maybe was that she is actually a negative character. I could be so wrong, but it does seem like a very cool and fun movie, because just looking at the trailer, I was like, damn, I want to go there. It's so beautiful. It's so fun. And Akpos's adventures kind of make me think of Tintin. But then actually, when I saw people getting shot in the movie, I'm like, that's not supposed to happen, because in your head, it's kind of like cartoony. In cartoons, no one dies. Like, people bang their heads. There's bottles smashing on your heads, but nothing really happens. So I was like, no, what? People died? People got shot? Funny.
We didn't see anyone die. So that still is in sync with Tintin, because Tintin does get shot at, but he doesn't really ever get hit.
So it is a little higher level than Tom and Jerry. There's a bit of Tom and Jerry and a bit of Tintin, which both I love. So,
Yes. Another thing that I noticed, the first thought that came to my mind is I want to go to Sun City and I want to watch this movie, both thoughts all together. What came to my mind, because they said they are the producers of this movie and that movie and this movie and that movie. And each movie had a name of a city or a place. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's their lucky thing to have the name of a city. And also it was a high budget movie. I feel it's Sun City. It's glam.
Yeah, I would say, it is a high production value if we compare to many other movies. But again, the only criticism is that audio could be better. If you have the money to make such high production value movies, then you can make the audio better. And it wasn't like consistently bad, but there were sections where I'm like, why is there an echo? Why does it feel like someone is talking from the next room? That kind of disrupts your experience. But I do think that this franchise seems to be very cool. We have just seen 2 trailers. And as Kayode Kasum was saying, destination movies and those kind of movies perform well. Back in the day, if you think about it, even in India, like Yash Chopra movies did really well, because of course the movies were good and interesting, but they were always going to Europe. And it wasn't that common back then.
Yeah.
So that's your own escape back then, when you couldn't go anywhere to imagine yourself in Europe and in those mountains. So I think that's also a draw in these kind of movies where there's a big portion of the population, like in India, that cannot really make this a reality, but they can obviously have an experience through watching movies. For me, as part of my childhood and growing up, that made me want to travel more, that made me daydream a bit, a lot, I guess. Pretty much everybody I knew wanted to become an investigative journalist or traveler or globetrotter or this, that.
As a kid, I wanted to become a lot of things, maybe every new day, a new ambition. But you know what was a recurring wish to become when I grew up? Do you know what?
Travel.
I wanted to become a pirate.
A pirate?
But one thing, yes, we talked to Kasum, we talked to Cholowani. With these youngsters, them being so dedicated towards quality, they're still finding this such a drawback. So what might be the reason? Is it simply the lack of money, or they just don't have the equipment of that kind?
I think maybe it's just not prioritized in terms of budget. A producer is the one who might have more of a say in things like that. So in certain cases, you don't have the luxury to prioritize quality over what will for sure work for you. I do know that they recognize the problems. It might be that we want to focus on these things as a priority because that will bring in the money. A little bit of sound quality has always been an issue, maybe. With Nollywood, they will adjust. Back in the day, there were easy scripts. There were so many things that Indian audiences were used to. So there was no reason for people to change it up. See, I do think Nollywood has a lot to offer. Africa has a lot to offer. There's so many stories. It's not that what there is bad, but there can be so much more. How in Indian cinema, we were all like love story, family, which is a big part of Indian cinema. But it wasn't until Dil Chahta Hai happened that a huge shift came about in how movies were made. One director, one person with that vision took that chance to make what he wanted to make. And then other people saw that, oh, this is monetarily viable because people loved that product. So I hope that happens faster with Nollywood because there's so much room to do so many things for other cultures to see your movies and enjoy it, is to be at least on that par of quality.
And I hope they realize that, they have such a huge audience. I want them out there. They have beautiful stories.
I mean, they'll get there. India took a while to get there. India's VFX is becoming amazing. Many of the Hollywood VFXs, all that comes from India. Yes, originates in India, but India took a longer time to get to the point of really brilliant VFX is because they weren't prioritizing that kind of budget. And that's why our superhero movies or whatever didn't look as good as Marvel and all of them. And also think about this, for someone in Hollywood to put that kind of money in with that powerful of a currency is much easier. All right, guys, so you know the drill. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. Share it with friends, leave us comments. Also, recently, I got a comment about one of our subscribers wanting to know more about us. If you have such questions, just leave it down in the comments and we will make a video on that. We will compile all the questions you might have about us, and we will maybe have a live chat. We'll see how it goes. We will have some exciting stuff for you coming soon. So keep your eyes out for that. Until next time, फिर मिलेंगे.